Hello and welcome to another Amazon Sellers vlog. Just driving back to Cambridge right now and thought I'd jump on and do another vlog talking about how I've been going for the month on Amazon and just a few musings around selling on Amazon. So yeah, sorry it's been a while since I've done a video. I actually recorded one a few weeks ago but forgot to actually upload it. I've been slacking a little bit. But anyway, how are things going? Great, guys. I mean, let's just start with a really exciting thing. If you're not in my Amazon FBA community, you need to join that ASAP because I'm giving away a MacBook Air to anyone. So link for that's in the description. There's loads of ways to enter and get the MacBook Air, like by liking videos and watching videos and doing all sorts of things. Yeah, ways to actually enter, get that MacBook. So I had a couple of really good months and I decided, you know what, I'm going to finally give away that MacBook. So yeah, it's running until the December, and then we'll give it away in December just in time for Christmas. But yeah, exciting stuff, guys. So yeah, Amazon's been going okay, actually. So last month, I made approximately, and I've got a video which I'll link in the description or put up here, showing my sort of breakdown of profits. And, you know, my STK figures were around, if I remember correctly, around 12,300, something around there. You know, gross profit, but refunds have kind of kicked in a little bit, and I was actually looking yesterday, I was down to 11.5. So, you know, once I also factored my expenses and stuff in, I think I was down to about 9,300. So realistically, after all my expenses, we might be down to like 8,500 now. Still pretty good for a month, but just shows you anyway, kind of interesting. So this month's been going pretty well. Well, actually, this month's been very mixed, actually. So I started off absolutely smashing it. I was doing 400, 500 pound days. I thought I was on for my best month yet of maybe 15, 16K. And yeah, the first sort of half of the month, first 10 days were amazing. In fact, yeah, first 10 days I was doing 400, 500 pound days. So I got to that sort of 500, so I got to that sort of 5,000 pound mark profit-ish. You know, and then it suddenly just slowed down massively. Amazon's been really slow for the past sort of 12 days now, and I've only made about £3,000 in those 12 days. So, you know, I'm on about 8,000. I looked this morning, £8,100, I think, you know, gross profit. So, you know, we should easily hit the 10,000, 11, 12,000, hopefully this month. But, you know, I'm going to have to relook at some of my products and see if my prices are too high or... Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I've definitely heard from a few other people that Amazon's been very slow for them as well. So, I don't know, yeah, a bit of a weird one anyway. So, I have been buying absolutely loads of stock though from Quigita. Again, if you guys not signed up to Quigita, link in the description for that. Get £120 for free in your first order. Yeah, I've been absolutely rinsing that, so I must have spent well over 50,000 now. I need to actually sit down and tally up how much I've ordered because it's crazy. So I think I've done like 45 orders so far. At least 45 orders, and I spent a fortune on that site. So, all essentially, for the most part, Q4 stuff, perfumes. I'd say what I've bought is probably 90% perfumes, with a few extra little bits here and there. Definitely getting harder to source on there, but I've been using the Quigita price drop monitor server, which my brother created, and basically it alerts you every time there's a drop of a price, but also more importantly, it spits out every hour a CSV that you can put into Arbisor, so really powerful. But yeah, so that's been going really well, to be fair. And yeah, I've not sold much of that stuff yet. I've sold a little bit, but you know, most of that is kind of like a Q4 hold, which actually brings me on to an interesting conversation, interesting topic actually. You know, I've always just basically explained what's worked for me, you know, and what had worked for me for the past 2 years, you know, I have this phrase, hold is gold. And I guess because of the strategy I had, you know, I started off with Amazon to Amazon, then I did, you know, more just general OA. In fact, just did, yeah, obviously mixed in with Amazon to Amazon. Then I found a really good niche that was definitely slower selling, but really good profits. But then, you know, that's what's worked for me, and obviously I've had really good results with that. But I was speaking to a guy yesterday called Ben, and we were just saying, like, do you not think you're better off, you know, churning your stock more often? because I'm a big fan normally of holding and saying, right, I'm going to set my price to X amount. I know my price is going to get hit eventually. It might take 2, 3, 4 months to get there, and then or for whatever reason, or maybe it's a Q4 hold. Just being patient and waiting, and then eventually I do make that 30, 40, 50% ROI, because my ROI is really sick. I think it's like 53% for the year so far, so as a VAT reg as well, so really nice. But end of the day though, while that looks like a really nice ROI, am I better off just churning stock? I need to stop shouting at the camera. I'm just going to talk normally. So yeah, I'm just wondering whether I'm actually better off just I don't know, going more of a I'll probably end up having a mix anyway, but definitely thinking more about churning stock more often, even if I end up only making 20% ROI rather than say the 30 or 40%. If I can get that money back quicker and get invested into more stock, then maybe I'll make more money in a year. It's the whole argument of like, are you better off, let's say as an extreme example, making 30% ROI twice a year with your money. Let's say you've got £10,000. You buy £10,000 worth of stock. After 6 months, you made 30% ROI, so you've got £13,000. And then you put that £13,000 in again, and it's going to test my math now. And then another 6 months later, you get back. Let's just call it another £3,000 profit, because I really can't do the math in my head for some reason. It'd be another 900 on top, wouldn't it? So it'd be 13, it'd be 16,900. So in that year, you've turned your 10,000 to 16,900. Pretty nice, to be fair. I'm not going to say that's not good at all. So you've churned it twice, in doing 30%. Or are you better off trying to churn your money 4 times at 20%? So again, this is going to really test my math here. Maybe I'll pop it on the screen as well, just make sure, in case my math's wrong here. But you take your £10,000, in 3 months you turn it into say 12,000. You take that 12,000, you churn it again, you get another 20%. I'm going to keep it easy here and just say every time you invest 10,000, you get 20%, ignoring the extra money you made. But basically, after a year, if you churn £10,000 4 times at 20% ROI, excluding any extra money you made, you've basically got £18,000. So technically it's more than this, but yeah, we'll call it 18. We'll say every time you do 10,000, you get £2,000 profit. So you do that 4 times. Say first time you get 2,000, second time you get 2,000 profit, third time you get 2,000 profit, fourth time you get 2,000 profit. So it's essentially what you've done there is you've basically made £6,900 profit on one strategy, and you made 8,000 on the other. Technically it's more, but we'll just say it's 8,000. So yeah, I think it is better to, looking at those kind of figures, that for growth especially, it's definitely probably worth going for a big churn rather than being holding. So, it's an interesting one, because I've not been given the wrong advice, but I've just been given the advice that worked for me, But I do think, this is all good in theory, by the way. It's all good to say, yeah, just pass up on those slower ones and just buy the fast-selling ones. It's not like you can pick and choose all the time. But it's just something to keep in mind, I guess. And then when you do get those items, maybe just willing to take those, lower profits potentially. Again, it all depends on how much stock you've got to buy, how many leads you've got. It depends on what leads you can buy. It depends on your capital as well. It depends on how much effort you want to put into Amazon FBA as well. So obviously churning stock of always finding new leads is much more effort than, I guess, the strategy that I use, which only takes me about a couple of hours a day, realistically now. Where I just tend to hold stuff for the long term, not long term, but do a slower churn. It's an interesting concept anyway, thing to think about. I'm not saying one is right or wrong. It's just, they're both very profitable. I've been very successful. I've got, I don't know how much I've got in my business now, 150k maybe. I don't know, it's hard to say, 150,000 maybe in my business right now. I started with 30. So in 2 years, I've multiplied that by 5, which is not too bad really. It's always better to go, and that's worked well, but maybe I could be on 200,000 now if I'd gone for a higher churn sort of stuff. I don't know, it's an interesting one. So maybe I'll be adjusting my sort of advice going forward for people. But again, it's all easy in theory just to say, don't buy those slower selling items, just buy the fast selling ones, or, I don't know, anyway, it's interesting. So just things that I'm mulling over a little bit in my head. Realistically, what's going to happen is, and just like with now, basically, you're going to have a mixture. I do have some fast-selling items. I've got some slow-selling items. But maybe I should try and focus my efforts more, and maybe get my VAs to focus more on really fast-selling items, or just be willing to take... I guess, actually, there's multiple ways to think about this, right? Okay, I've got a big thingy bob here. So one option is, you pass up on the slow-selling items. You basically just say, right, I'm only going to buy stuff that's 100 sales per month or more, basically, where I'm going to be selling X amount per month myself. So it's not a massively saturated listing. And I'm just going to buy that stuff. I'm just going to try and sell it through as quickly as possible. And I'm essentially going to, just sell no matter what the price gets to. Essentially, I'm just going to try and sell my stock inside of 60 days or 30 days, no matter what happens to the price, essentially. I'm going to just go along with the price. Or you still do that strategy, but you also pick up the slower items. So I think this is probably the best way, I suppose. And that is to, and I'm sorry if my thoughts are all over the place here. Essentially, you still buy those slower selling items, the 20, 30, 50 SPM ones, whatever they are. And basically what you do is you set your repricer to, essentially your minimums on it would be your break-even point. And then you literally just sell into the market. You literally just, as soon as the stock's in, you just let it basically sell down, and you probably accept that, let's say you buy, as an example, 10 units, for example, of whatever it is. You get on the first unit, you probably get 30% ROI, let's say. Your second unit, you're probably going to get 27% ROI. Third unit's going to get 25%. Fourth unit's going to be down to 22.5%. Fifth unit's going to be sort of 20%. And essentially what you're doing is you're just selling into the market. Obviously, other people are, I'm not saying you're dropping the price. Other people are dropping the price. You're just matching, essentially. But you're accepting that stock is going to sell for different profits through time, basically. And your goal is to try and obviously sell out your last unit before it gets to the point where it's negative. So you basically say to PPP, that's the repricer I use, by the way, Profit Head to Pro, link for that in the description. It's the best repricer by far. And basically, your goal is to try and sell your stock in 30 days, and you basically accept that maybe your last couple of units will be break even, or I wouldn't say taking a loss, but like you just want to basically get it in and get it out. So definitely an interesting strategy. It's something I need to start thinking about a bit more, about churning my stock more. Definitely going to be more headache from admin point of view and stuff like that, but I think this is going to be the best way to grow. And I don't know how I'm going to be, I've got different I don't know, it's very difficult really. It depends, I say it's very hard. I've got all sorts of different strategies and stuff. Like one of the categories that I sell, although admittedly I've not sourced much of it recently, is a relatively slow seller. It requires a lot of stock in Amazon. It doesn't sell very quickly, but when it does sell, I make a good profit on each unit. I make £20, £30 profit. But that's not going to be a fast churning. It never is going to be, no matter what strategy I go in, mindset I go in with. It's never going to be a fast selling item. So it's just an interesting one, really. I'm just thinking how I'm going to. Yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting one. I guess with this strategy that I'm thinking of, though, like going back to the old trying to churn quickly, you need to make sure your stuff gets sent in really quickly. You cannot be delaying, because obviously those first few units that get sold are going to be absolutely critical. So you're going to need a really fast prep center, or you're going to need to send it in really quickly yourself. So it's definitely an interesting one. It's just, I don't know, I'm still thinking aloud about all this stuff. But yeah, I think it could be an interesting strategy. Something I might start adopting myself a little bit, and just, be willing to take lower ROI. Because at the end of the day, all I care about is profit. I don't care, my figures look really nice, I'm not going to lie. People are saying, how are you doing 50% ROI, 53, whatever. It's because obviously I'm a holder, I hold things. I'm willing to wait for the price to come back. But in the long run, the best thing is profit. So I might be better off taking 20% ROI and just churning my stock way quicker. And at the end of the day, end of the month, rather than making 10,000 profit, maybe on 15 or 20. So yes, definitely something I need to think about, something you need to think about as well. But yeah, it's food for thought there anyway, but okay, it all depends on your strategy, how much money you've got, how many deals you've got to buy, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. But I do think it might be the right approach. Get it in and get it out. That might be... I need to come up with some new t-shirts. I'll have to get rid of the hold is gold t-shirt though, if I'm going to do get it in, get it out. Yeah, all depends on your niche though, I guess. Because the niche that I really love, although I've been struggling to find... I've not been struggling to find stock for it. I've not even looked, to be honest, because I've been focused on Q4. But the niche that I love is a slow... It's never... No matter what I do, it's always going to be a slow seller. It's just... And it requires a lot of stock in there, of a lot of variety. They're going? And... Yeah. It's... Oh, come on. What's this person doing? So yeah, that strategy is not going to work for that strategy, but anyway, that particular category. Right, let me get on to the A1 and then we'll move on to the next topic. I bet these are someone who's going to stop on the freaking slip road. I can just tell. I've got a dash cam here, so maybe when people do things stupid, I'll post it onto the video. Not too bad actually. Right. So anyway, food for thought on that one anyway. Something I'm thinking about. And I think this brings up another interesting point. I think with Amazon FBA and business in general, you need to be willing to change and evolve. I mean, my strategy's changed ridiculously since I started. And it feels like every few months I'm thinking of new ideas and new ways and, just, I guess, keeping an open mind and, I don't know, just being willing to change, I suppose. This is where it comes down to. Change is difficult, but, it needs to be done. So the things that I'm probably going to be thinking about and implementing right now is getting my... one thing I really need to work on is getting my VA to buy purchase leads for me. So that's something that's going to be happening from now on. Probably actually from Monday, I'm going to be saying to them, right, here's the credit card. I want you to source the leads and buy the leads. And get them sent in ASAP, get them churned out, and just see how it goes for a month or two with those leads. I've been slacking massively on VA leads, to be honest, because I've just been focusing on Quigita and Q4, so all of my VA leads have just been sat there rotting. I feel really bad, actually, because I'm paying all this money out, and I'm not utilising it, so it's really bad, really not good. But yeah, that's something I definitely need to improve. So yeah, I think I'm going to get my VAs now to start buying for me, and that's all the stock they buy. I'm going to go in the mindset of like, let's just churn this stuff. Basically, let's get it in, let's get it out. I'm going to focus maybe more myself on Q4 items a bit more, maybe, or things like that. I'm not sure exactly, or maybe I'll focus on my category that I like. But no, we've got Q4 coming up, so I'll stick to that basically for now. Really important to take advantage of the seasonal time. I've got £120,000 worth of stock in Amazon right now, which is really nice. Probably got another 10,000 on the way, either at Prep Center or in transit or stuff like that. So, got a good amount of stock going into Amazon. Just hope that obviously it churns and sells. So, yeah. Anyway, interesting concept there. So, this is something I'm going to be working on over the next month or so, along with obviously doing my social media and things like that. But yeah, so, I don't know. Social media wise, everything's been going really well. Discord community is going fantastically. We've got 650 members in there right now in FBA Moguls, which is really fantastic. So I'm hoping to get to 1,000. I've got all these little goals set for myself, and 1,000 members is my goal for December, end of the year. So I'd like to get 1,000 people, and I still need to actually be putting out more content. I need to basically get an editor, a video editor. I need to get a social media manager. I need to get what else? Like a thumbnail editor. Thing is, like, social media doesn't really make enough money for all this, so I'd have to put a lot of my own money in. But I think it's necessary for growth. So I just realised I'm speeding a little bit, not too much. But yeah, necessary for growth for me to invest this money back in. So I really do need to just focus on me making the content and getting an editor and things like that, so I can grow everything, get more members in. Because that's my ultimate goal. I want to try and get 10,000 members into FBA Moguls. I want it to be literally the most active the most useful, the most friendly, and just basically the best Amazon FBA Discord community for UK members, and ideally eventually the world, basically. So, but let's focus on the UK right now. But yeah, I want it to be literally the best place. I want someone to be able to come in who's a brand new Amazon seller and learn everything they want to know for free, and be helped by other people as well. So that's what I want. I want people who are existing sellers to come in and feel like they can join part of a nice community, get help on Amazon. That's what I want as well. And I want people who are experts to be able to come in and who want to help people and come and help in the community as well. So yeah, and again, part of the community, I'm going to have to eventually maybe get some moderators, hire some people potentially that have been selling on Amazon for a year or two to come in as like Amazon experts, I suppose you call them, to help answer questions when I'm not there. But hopefully the community becomes sort of it is in a way already. But someone asks a question, someone else answers it. It's good right now. So yeah. Anyway, that's one of my ultimate goals, is try and build that up. So I've been working on my, not the course, but I've been working on an Amazon guide. So I've just started off right now. I was doing it on Friday. Just writing out an Amazon guide on how to actually get started on Amazon for those that are new. Just how it just started off with the real basic stuff, like what the difference between sole trader and limited company. Which one should you do? And here's how you sign up as a sole trader. Here's how you sign up as a limited company. Here's the bank account you're going to need. Here's the whatever you're going to need. So all that stuff, basically, those sort of 3 things are my first bits that I did. And then obviously I'm going to be working on writing the guide out for like making your Amazon account, all the things you need to do on your Amazon account, things like that, basically. So that's the guide I'm writing out right now. And then, of course, once I've done all that and got that written out, because it's much easier to write this stuff out, I think, I can then use that to then make my video course as well. So people will be able to consume the entire guide on... let's move over him, hogging the lane. They'll be able to consume this guide either by text, on my blog, and then in the Discord server. They'll be able to watch a course as well on this as well. So, but yeah, that's something that's sorely needed in my community right now, is a guide for new people. So definitely need to work on that. People have been taking advantage of the one-on-one calls. I've done quite a few one-on-one calls with people. It's been really good. I really enjoy doing those calls, because that sort of 15 minutes can be really crucial for people starting their business, just to try and help make sure for some people it's just a sanity check. Other people, they just want to ask questions, things like that. So it's been really good, to be fair, and I'll continue to do that. Eventually, again, I'll hire people to help to do those, not just because I won't be able to keep up myself, but also as well, I want to have onboarding for people. I want to be able to I want to be able to, when people sign up, I want to be there, well, probably not me, but hire someone to help people set up their limited company, set up their bank account, all that kind of stuff. Having done these one-on-one calls, in nearly every single call, I'd say 80 to 90% of them, I'm being asked, do I do mentorship? And right now I'm saying no, I don't do mentorship. And basically my answer is to that, and it's an interesting one, because I don't know if I want to do mentorship, to be honest. It's something I'm very cautious to jump into again. It's a lot of work, but also it's a lot of responsibility as well. So, it's a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure. So my goal is to, by the end of this year, I want to get my course out. I want to get my written guide out. I want to basically have 90% of the information out there for free, basically. That's my ultimate goal, because realistically, I want to give everything for free. If I can, try and get 99% of it out there, but, my goal is just try and get the course out there right now. Maybe it won't be complete or not, but who knows. By the end of the year, try and get people into Amazon through that. Hopefully you guys can hear me with all this bloody rain. And then basically what I'm going to say is, like, guys, I don't want to mentor you, okay? I really don't. You should not pay for mentoring. Do it for free. There's all of the course. There's everything you need to learn, okay? But if you really do want to pay for mentoring, if you're someone that just wants to pay for knowledge, you don't mind plonking down 3,000 quid for, one-on-one mentoring, then sure, I will take your money basically. But what I really want to do is discourage people from doing that. And even if I did it, I wouldn't take that many people on, because again, I don't want to, it's a lot of pressure, and I don't know how I'd feel about it basically. I'm not, I don't know. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, and again, I may not even do this. This is still up in the air, but people do ask me all the time, and in a way I feel like I'm silly leaving the money on the table, when people are willing to pay for mentoring. But yeah, my thought process essentially is it'd be 3,000 quid, it'll be 12 months of mentoring, it'd be something like 10 or 12 one-on-one sessions over the year, probably more in the first few months or first few weeks even, and then going more to sort of like once a month, something like that anyway. And then obviously there'll be like group calls as well if I've got more than one student, things like that basically. I also throw leads in as well. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I need to come up with a curriculum, all this kind of stuff. It's really difficult, but I don't know. And I don't want to sound like an absolute arsehole here, but I don't need the money. So it's silly of me to leave the money on the table. At the same time, I don't need the money. So, and I want to see how far I can push this for free. I think the free model works so well. So, you know what? The paid mentoring, I'd say it's 50-50 right now, to be honest. It really is. I don't know how I feel about it. I think, I don't know. I probably am leaving money on the table. But yeah, if people really want to pay for mentoring, I don't know. Anyway, it's an interesting one. So, yeah, I don't know really. These are all the fun things you get to think about when you build a community and stuff. However, this obviously leads on to my next thing. I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but one thing I do want to do is I want to create another community and another YouTube channel around building and monetizing communities. Basically taking your expertise that you have, whether it's Amazon FBA or maybe your, whatever your expertise is in, maybe it's painting Warhammer models or whatever it is, essentially, and building a YouTube channel and community around that as well. Basically teaching people, again, just from my experience, what did I do? How did I build my channel? How did I build my social media up? I know there's lots of people out there that do this already, but everyone has their own personality and experience. How did I build my community? How did I monetize my community? All this kind of fun stuff. So, yeah, that's something I want to do as well, is build up another, again, community and social media presence around teaching people how I did that, basically. So you can now start to see my plans of what I want to do, long term. I want to be running the Amazon FBA community. I want to be running another community which I've called tentatively right now YouTube Moguls, or it might be Community Moguls, or I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to call it yet, but it's called YouTube Moguls right now anyway. Anyway, so yeah, helping people, because I encourage people, to copy what I've done. You're not really going to take away from, just like with Amazon, there's room for everyone. I'm not greedy. The reason I teach Amazon is because I think there's room for everyone. And the reason I'll teach people how to create their own communities and monetize them and create their own channels and stuff, even if they end up doing it in the same genre as me, Amazon FBA, that doesn't bother me. Obviously, it'll be a wider audience. There might be people that are lawyers, they want to talk about, maybe create a community for lawyers. Maybe there'll be a community painting Warhammer, want to create a community around that, do channels, a YouTube channel around that. It's endless, basically. It could be knitting, could be business, could be self-confidence. It could be, I don't know, anything really. There's no, the sky's the limit really on what you could do, build a community on. So a gaming one, I don't know. Anyway, so that's another interesting concept anyway. But yeah, I definitely buck the trend though, because I'm really pushing the free model. I think the free model I genuinely think it's the best way, but yeah, I could be wrong. It might not be the most profitable, but for me, it feels like the best way. So definitely that's where my, uniqueness will be coming in, because there are people out there that already teach this kind of stuff right now. How to build there's a few out there. How do you like monetize your knowledge? What do? You build a course, you start charging for the course, you do paid mentorship. Nothing rocket science there. My goal is going to be a little bit different. Mine's going to be going, you know what, we don't need to do that. I think, personally, I could be wrong, in the long run, a free community is going to be more profitable and better than having to do something like a paid thing. That's my opinion, and I could be totally wrong. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now anyway, so I don't know. So back to Amazon FBA. So obviously I've talked about what I've been planning on doing for the next month or so. So yeah, this month I've been just focused on Q4. I need to train up my VAs a bit more to do, say, buying and things like that. Get some good processes in place for that. Hopefully by next month they'll be good enough to buy stuff themselves. But I've only got the one VA I can really do this for. I can't make my shared VA buy for me, unless everyone else agrees to do it, I suppose. But yeah, and then obviously I need to start hiring more help for social media. Another thing as well I want to do is I want to revamp my brand. I'm not really, what I'm doing right now and on this channel and my FBA Moguls thing is essentially a brand, the FBA Mogul brand. And I've not been nurturing that very well. I need to get more of a brand identity. So what I need to do is hire someone maybe on Fiverr, or if you know someone, reach out to me, who can help me build a brand, like get a decent logo, come up with a color scheme, all this kind of stuff so I can build a good brand identity. Again, this is another thing that I'm taking and everything you do in life, hopefully you guys realize this, they've been around for, if you're in your mid-20s, 30s plus, that everything is evolving. You're always learning. This person's got their indicators on, yeah, everything, you're always learning and evolving. So it's, oh yeah, he's figured it out now. So you don't know all the answers right away. I certainly don't. I still don't know really everything about Amazon. It's a journey I'm on, and I'm evolving as I'm going along. I'm learning as I'm going along. Same with my social media and things like that. I'm learning as I'm going along. I'm evolving. I'm growing. I started off with humble beginnings, and it's grown really nicely. And I'm still a very small channel, very small community compared to some communities. It's I'm growing, and my business is growing, and I want to build the brand and start worrying about brand identity and things like that. So it's just an interesting thing, because all that is me and my brand basically. So hopefully people enjoy these videos, enjoy all the stuff I talk about, all the rambling that I do about all this kind of stuff. So, and you guys get to see essentially a lot of this stuff, obviously not just talking about Amazon FBA as well, but I talk about my general business goals as well. So, there's so much money to be made on Amazon and the internet that it's just crazy, to be honest. And there's so much opportunity, it's just mind-boggling, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, it's hopefully what I end up doing is motivating you guys. And this is another channel that I thought about creating. Again, I just don't have the time for it right now. It's just starting like a general business channel, which is kind of similar to the whole YouTube Moguls thing, I suppose, in a way. I guess that's the business channel. But yeah, building businesses, business mogul maybe. Interesting. Because essentially that is like building business. So again, here this is where I mull over this kind of stuff, talking aloud, thinking. I love thinking when I'm driving, about all this stuff. So yeah, how I'm going to build this next brand and build this next business. And guys, my ultimate goal is to get to £100,000 a month profit. That is my ultimate goal. I've got no doubt I'm going to get there. Obviously I need to, I want to do that consistently. And yeah, when I get to that sort of number, I'm going to, do some massive giveaway. So I love giving, the more money I make, the more I like to give away. It's really weird. I don't know, it's very strange, but yeah, I don't know. I was really looking forward to giving away that MacBook. It really sounds really odd to me, but I really was looking forward to getting to that point where I was like, you know what? I've made enough now that I'm comfortable giving away £1,000. It was really nice. And I'd love to get to the point where I feel comfortable enough to buy a £10,000, off the top of my head I'm thinking Rolex, and give that away to my community. something like that anyway, or maybe some big package of like a really baller computer, like a Mac Studio with a £3,000, a £5,000 computer with a £3,000 monitor, all the accessories and stuff. I need to think about what I do, but basically, essentially what I'd love to do is be able to get to the point where I can give away £10,000 basically, of whatever prize it is. Maybe it'll be split up into multiple prizes, but yeah, that's a goal I've got in mind. Get to that level, and if I make £100,000 in 1 month, I'd probably end up doing that. So, as long as it's not like I make 100,000 in 1 month and next month I'm making 1,000, but yeah, that's just something I'd love to do. Like, I've been looking at a lot of watches recently, going down this whole rabbit hole of like buying myself a nice watch. I haven't got one yet. God, I forgot to tell this embarrassing story. God. So I went to Goldsmiths in Nottingham, and I was looking at getting myself a Navitimer. And I decided on the model that I wanted. I wanted to get the 46mm Navitimer with the black dial. But they were offering, I don't want to spend the money on it basically, because all the amount of money I'm spending on that, I'd rather put into items for Q4. So they were offering 0% finance. So I was like, cool, I'll take 0% finance over 3 years, 10% down, And it's another interesting thing as well. Before I became a business owner, I was always a big advocate of do never use finance. If you can't afford to buy it in cash, and I still think this a little bit, if you can't afford to buy it in cash, you can't afford it. Don't finance things like this unless you absolutely really need it. Like if you need a car for work, for example, and you can't afford to buy them with cash, sure, finance one or whatever. But you don't need like a fancy car. I was always a big anti-financing things and things like that. But when I became a business owner, I'm now thinking with a different mindset. I'm thinking, well, okay, this watch was £8,000, for example. I was thinking, this £8,000, I'd rather keep that in my business, because that £8,000 I can churn going back to the previous conversation, I can churn that every let's say twice a year, for 30% ROI. So I'd rather do that than spend that money on the watch. And if I can do it, I'll get the finance and take 0%. Even actually, I'd even be willing to pay a small interest rate on the finance as well, to be quite honest with you, because again, I think I'd make more money with the money. So anyway, I applied for finance, right, and the guy put all the details in, clicked enter, and then it was thinking, and they said, okay, we're going to need to think about this more, basically. So they're going to, I guess, go through a further background check or whatever. And we were sat there for 10-15 minutes, nothing happened, so we called up. And then the lady was like doing she was like, oh yeah, we need to check your details, blah, blah, blah. I was like, sure, yeah, my name's Simon, etc., etc. Then she was like, right, I want to know, what credit cards have you got? So I was like, oh, I've got this credit card, this credit card, this credit card. And then she was like, what are your credit limits on them? And I was like, I have no freaking idea. I actually said with the Amex, I said limitless, I thought, but obviously I was thinking of my business one, not my personal one, which does have a limit apparently. I literally had no clue what my credit card limits were. Anyway, went through that. And also, what was interesting is what she said, before that, she said, without looking at a digital device, tell me what your credit limits are on your cards. So I wasn't even allowed to look it up. I guess it's a security thing, maybe? Anyway, it came to the end of it, they declined me. So I was like, what the hell? How the hell have I got declined on a credit on this thing? It was like freaking crazy. So I looked at it was like, what is my credit score? Last time I looked, it was excellent, and it was still excellent. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, so I don't know why I got rejected. Maybe now I'm thinking about it out loud, I failed that security check on it. They thought maybe it was too risky because I didn't know what my credit limits were. But I literally had no freaking clue. I was like, I've got no idea. Essentially I've got 3 credit cards. 2 of them I use. One's an Amex, one's not an Amex. For when they don't take Amex. And one that I got ages ago, I never used. And yeah, I got no freaking idea. Anyway, so that was rather embarrassing anyway. So if you're watching this, the guy from, my guy from Goldsmiths, I do apologise. That was really embarrassing and crazy, but I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so what I've decided is I will be getting that watch, but I'll be waiting till, I'll try and reapply for the finance after Christmas. And then if I can't get the finance, I'll just pay for it because that's my reward to myself. I'm trying to get a Rolex. I can't get a Rolex right now. I want to reward myself. I'm pretty overall generally really frugal, but I really want to get myself a nice watch as a kind of reward for business and stuff, and taking the plunge and things like that. So yeah, but really embarrassing story there. So I don't know. Yeah, it must have been a security thing. So next time I do it, I'll make sure I remember what the freaking credit limits are. Yeah, anyway, it must have been. Now I'm thinking about it, it must have been a security thing. It must have been. Because my credit score is excellent. So it's not the best because I don't have a freaking mortgage and stuff like that. You're not having a mortgage hurts your credit score. So kind of interesting anyway. So anyway, yeah, interesting stuff. So right, I'm going to end the video there. The roads are getting very squirrely right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video anyway. Hopefully we talked about some very interesting topics. Hopefully you guys thought that was interesting, and I'll see you in the next one.